Hey there, let's continue with our Google Ads course. Now we're going to set up remarketing, or to be more specific, the first part of this task, creating remarketing audiences, also known as segments. And it's a really awesome thing. Remarketing is honestly my absolute favorite. I'm probably about to explain what's what and how it works. It's a killer tool. There's probably nothing better than remarketing. But unfortunately, you can't run only remarketing. It won't work like that. We need audiences. Go to Tools, Shared Library, Audience Manager, your data segments. We already have one audience that was created automatically. That's fine. We're not paying attention to it. We don't care about it. Here we click the plus sign, create remarketing list and choose website visitors. In this case, we have a website. What is this and what are we creating? We're going to remember everyone who visits our website. Because like I said in previous videos, not everyone visits once and then submits a lead on the website or calls right away. When we create audience segments, we're basically telling Google, here, remember this audience of mine, and then we'll show ads to them. And even if this person is no longer searching for something specific, like manicure, wherever they browse on the internet, they'll keep seeing our ads. That's how powerful this is. And to this day, there are people who think, wow, of course I'm ordering from you. You guys are the best, you're everywhere. And they genuinely believe we basically bought all the advertising on the entire internet. But in reality, we might have just 100 people in the audience that we're hunting. And when her current nail tech does a bad job, who is she going to book next? Of course, with us. Assuming we have a fair price and good conditions, obviously. Over time, the person has already developed trust in us. So yes, remarketing is a great thing. Let's get started. We are setting up the first remarketing audience segment in Google Ads for all website visitors for 540 days. You can collect visitors of specific web pages or the entire website into this remarketing audience. If you click here, you'll see the option visitors of a page with specific tags. We have two tags, a click on the phone number and the thank you page. But showing ads to people who are already customers is kinda pointless. Although you can create an audience of people who visited the thank you page, assume they're already a customer, and then add that audience as an exclusion. So if someone lands on the thank you page once, you stop annoying them after that. I don't really do that, but it's just one way you can use it. So I am not going to use tags at all. I'm going to use visitors of web pages. Audience membership duration. This is literally how long people stay in the audience from the moment they last visited your site. For example, they visited today, and in 31 days, that person will be removed from the audience and it will be impossible to show them ads. That's if we select 30 days. The maximum you can choose in Google Ads is 540 days. 540 days is about a year and a half. That's a lot. When do you actually need this? Not in every case. But we always create this audience just in case. Nobody limits how many audiences we can create. So the first audience, no matter what, we always create for the full 540 days. Just in case we get an idea later. We have no idea where our business will be in a year and a half. A year and a half is a long time. And this audience is a real asset. These are people who were on our website. These are the hottest potential customers, assuming we're sending clean traffic to the site. Include people from the last 30 days. We basically never change the setting. We always leave it as is. What does it mean? It's a retroactive window. So if we create an audience today, it will include people who visited the site during the 30 days before the audience was created. So if you've already launched ads, traffic is coming in, lots of people visited, and you're like, damn, I didn't set up remarketing. Do I have to start collecting them from scratch? No. You have an awesome option to include the people who visited during the previous 30 days. Don't touch anything here. This setting is enabled by default. I'm just explaining what it means. The option start with an empty segment is only needed in one case. If the page already existed and for some reason you changed the content and now people with a different interest will be visiting that same page. Sounds weird, but the option exists. In our case, it doesn't matter, because those pages have zero traffic. We haven't launched ads yet. Customer type. This is optional and I recommend not touching it, especially at the start. The more you narrow your reach, the smaller the chance that remarketing will even start running. It's better to show an extra impression to someone who isn't interested than not show at all. The display network is not search. The logic there is different. We'll talk about it in later lessons. For now, just don't touch it. Now let's name the segment. You can name it whatever you want. All visitors, all pages, entire website. Because we're collecting from all pages of the entire site. These are all basically the same thing. I'll name it entire website 540 days. So it's clear how many days I'm collecting people into this audience. Scroll down and click Create Segment. And here's our finished conversion. Entire website, 540 days. Google built separate audiences for search, YouTube, display, network, and Gmail. We're intentionally collecting audiences of people who were on our site so we can show them display ads. Our audiences include not only people who came from Google Ads, but also people who came from organic search, Facebook ads, and so on. In other words, we're collecting everyone who matches the rules we selected in the audience segment we're creating. It doesn't matter how they got to the site. If you hover over the audience size for search, for example, you will see a note saying that within 72 hours populating will change to real numbers. Now let's create another audience for the entire site, but for 90 days. Click the plus sign, website visitors. I'll name it entire website, 90 days. Here we set 90 days. 90 days is the most common duration. In most businesses, that's enough time for someone to decide. After that, there's no need to keep hammering them with ads. You can create audiences for 30, 90, 180, 365, 540 days. As many as you want. I've never hit any limits. By the way, here's how you can use this. If you want to show one ad for 90 days, and then a different one after that. You create a campaign where the targeting includes the 540-day audience, and in exclusions, you add the 90-day audience. There are a lot of options, but most people don't really need this. We don't change anything else here. Scroll down and click Create Segment. Now let's create audiences for visits to specific pages. Click the plus sign. Website visitors. I'll name it Manicure. Get used to putting the membership duration right in the name of the audience segment. I add 540 days and I immediately set it in the settings. Click Refine Action. Page URL contains. I go to the site, select Manicure, copy the URL, paste it, delete the extra parts, and leave only Manicure. Why? Because in the future, pages like Luxury Manicure or Manicure Service might appear, and they will all contain this URL, so they will also end up in this audience. That's fine. If I wanted to collect an audience only from this one specific page, I would add a slash at both the beginning and the end. Now you might ask, why would I want to add people to this audience segment who visited not only one specific Manicure page, but any page that has Manicure in the URL? For that, I need to explain the difference between search and the display network. When we advertise in search results, we satisfy a specific demand. We need to give the person exactly what they're looking for right now. But when we advertise on the display network, we can create demand. A person might not be searching for a manicure at all, but we show them an ad, explain the benefits, and they're like, wow, that's cool, I want that. See what I mean? The display network works differently. That was just one point. Now the next one. The audience won't work if it has fewer than 100 active users. That's for privacy. If there are fewer people, the ads simply won't show. So sometimes you need to make your audiences broader, without the slash at the beginning and the end of the URL, so the audience can grow. Basically, if I wanted only that exact page, I would add the slashes. I'm not doing that here on purpose, as an example. Also, I'm using 540 days. You do whatever you need. Click Create Segment. Let's create one more. Again, plus sign, website visitors. This one will be pedicure. Also 540 days. Click Refine Action. I go to the site, select pedicure, copy the page URL, paste it, and look, like I said, as an example, pedicure. But now I'll put a slash at both the beginning and the end. That means people from pages like spa pedicure pedicure designs, or anything else won't get included. I'll be collecting people only from this exact page. If I put a slash only at the beginning, then I'll also collect people from pages where the URL starts with pedicure. And if I put it only at the end, then from pages where the URL ends with pedicure. So make sure you also write in the name what exactly this segment is. Do you realize how much a tiny slash changes everything? You get a completely different audience size and frequency. Here you'll have only people who visited exactly this. And there you might include people who visited something else. Alright, I put the slash at the beginning and the end and save it by clicking Create Segment. One more time about small segments. I mean segments with very few people. Why does an audience become inactive? If you have fewer than 100 active users here, ads won't run. What active users actually means is unclear. There's no information about it anywhere in the help docs. And Google reps also don't know the answer. So when you see 100 here, it doesn't mean the segment will start serving ads. Google shows the total number of people in the audience, but it doesn't show how many of them are active. So in some cases you need to make broader audiences, meaning URLs without slashes at the beginning and the end. So you also collect visitors from nearby pages and grow the audience. Same thing with time windows. For example, there are cases where even in 30 days you can't collect enough active audience. Or let's just drop the word active. In 30 days you don't even get 100 people you can show ads to. Why is this done? For privacy. Imagine a single person visits your site. You could even see their IP, and then you'd be showing ads to that one exact person. That's not great. But when there are 100 plus people, it's anonymized information. We have no idea who's inside. For us, it's just numbers. We can't identify one specific person. We just know there is a group of people, and we show ads to that group. That's it. Privacy. And that's completely normal. And in general, 90 days is a solid number for most businesses. Set 90 days and you get a relevant audience. Do we need any extra setup right now? Are these audiences already collecting? Or do we need something else? In our case, if you followed the course in order and did everything step by step, you don't need to do anything else. This is enough. But if you didn't set up tracking, meaning you don't have conversions set up, this audience will not work. There's one more thing you need to do. Why? I'll explain that now. We go on the left to Data Manager. At the top it shows that we already have Google Tag connected. Click Manage. At the top we see our tag ID GT5M3 GT3XC. If you click Installation Instructions and then Install manually, you'll see it in the code there too, in two places. Now let's go to Google Tag Manager. Remember in the previous lesson, when we created the first conversion, it complained that the tag wasn't created. And we created it literally in a couple of clicks. And look, here's our tag. It even put the ID into the name. But let's not trust the name. Click into it. And here we clearly see our ID. In Google Ads and in Tag Manager, it's the same ID, which is exactly what allows us to build audiences. I strongly recommend going through the entire course from the first lesson to the last, without skipping anything. That's the only way you'll fully understand how everything works and get a great result. But I'll still show you how to add this tag to Google Tag Manager manually. I click New, change the name, click Triggering. Here I choose Initialization, all pages, exactly that. For conversion tracking we chose all pages like page view. But here it's slightly different. The Google tag has higher priority, so we choose a different trigger. Now tap Tag Configuration and choose, as you can guess, Google tag. If Google changes something and the tag isn't visible, you can click the search icon in the top right and search for it. Now we just need to enter the tag ID. A bit earlier I showed you where to find it in the Google Ads account. Here it is. You simply copy, paste and click Save. I'm not doing it because I already have everything set up. So, we've set up audience segments. Even if you think you don't need them, do it anyway. You might get a great idea one day and be able to offer something interesting to your audience. But to do that, you need to have that audience collected. And in the next lesson, we're finally going to launch ads. You know those videos like Google Ads in 15 minutes? 15 minutes, my ass. We've already gone through 20 lessons. We broke down the full chain: ads, website, business model. We carefully sorted and grouped keywords, wrote strong ads, set up conversions, and prepared audience segments for future remarketing. And only now we're truly ready for a smooth launch. I try to keep the lessons as short as possible. Sure, I sometimes drift a bit and go off to the side, but this stuff is incredibly important. Because what I'm telling you is extremely important. Otherwise, you won't see the full picture. Still, look how much time this takes. If you still have questions, ask them in the comments. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one. Think bigger and make money.